The wait is over.
You walk in the first day, and it's like no other tournament.
It's the mother of all poker events, the one that the world looks at.
Come on.
I always get excited about one event, the main event.
The time is now.
Oh my God.
This is the main event, and tonight 6,358 players begin their quest for a hallowed place in poker history.
The main event is just like unbelievable, because that's how you make your name.
He's our new world champion.
Johnny Chan has Joseph Hashem stand.
Dewey wins the tournament.
It's where great players will be measured 50 years from now, 100 years from now.
Helmuth wins the championship.
I'm not sure it really can get more special.
If you're a great player, you maybe can have one shot during your lifetime to win that main event.
Rich with history, the main event is also the richest in sports. Over $8 million is on the table for someone to seize. The question is
I
who?
mean, somebody's got to win it, right? So why not you or me?
If you win that, you're called world champion of poker.
Nothing compares to it.
Yes!
The main event. One title.
I'm alive!
One bracelet.
Back it up! Come on, baby.
One future champion. Welcome to the main event of the World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
I'm playing in the World Series of Poker, baby. Ready to go.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lon McCarran, along with Norman Chad, and the most anticipated day in poker has arrived.
This one's mine. It's going to be me at the final table, baby.
6,358 very excited
Main event winner this year, baby. Taking it all down.
and colorful characters
Here we go.
have invaded the world's largest poker room for this unparalleled spectacle. They've all come, including some of the game's top pros
I've warned them not to mess with me.
and Hollywood's brightest stars. All walks of life are here to fulfill the fantasy of playing with the world's best.
Mom, I'm playing with Johnny Chan.
Someone will walk into this Rio poker room dreaming the impossible, but walk out with $8.25 million and the most coveted prize in poker. And Norman, what could be more thrilling than to sit down and see Doyle Brunson at your table on day one?
Doyle Brunson at the main event. Does it get any better?
10-time bracelet winner, one behind Phil Hellmuth as we stand right now.
Well, is Phil humble now that he's won his 11th?
No, I'm afraid not. No, they put Phil in the Hall of Fame yesterday, too. He was really floating around.
Did they really? They did?
Yeah. Which deserved, I think.
Doyle certainly deserved to go into the Hall of Fame in 1988. Barbara Enright joined Hellmuth in the Hall of Fame this year, becoming the first woman ever.
Blind start at 50 and 100 on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam. 9-8 of diamonds for Doyle Brunson. He makes the call. Doyle played in the very first World Series of Poker. Frank List from Holland is playing in his first World Series of Poker. And he makes the call. Next in line is David Garbaz with Ace-King. The buy-in is still 10 grand, but all players begin with 20,000 chips this year. Garbaz is going to raise it to 800.
And boy, that guy on the right looks like an avatar character in a poker video game.
Raised back to Doyle Brunson. And Doyle will commit the extra 700 onto List, and he will give it up.
So as usual, Doyle will go heads up with someone a bit younger than him.
Garbaz with the Ace-King versus 9-8 for Doyle. And there are 2 8s in the flop. Wow, a nice flop for Doyle Brunson.
And Doyle looks like he's just sitting out on the front porch waiting for the milk truck.
He will slow play his trip 8s. Garbaz is going to bet 1,000.
Garbaz has nothing but garbage, but he's going to pretend like he's got something.
You think he can bluff Doyle Brunson? Doyle with a check raise to 3,000.
You know, Doyle's been playing for so long, it's possible he's played this exact hand with these exact cards at this exact flop, maybe 47 times before.
With Ace-King, Garbaz will give it up, and that'll teach him to go up against the king.
It's an honor to play with you, sir. It's an honor to play with you.
Here's that every day, so you got to do something else.
I so wanted to re-raise him there.
So David Garbaz showing some respect for Doyle, and Brunson setting the tone early on at this featured table. Norman, nobody can attest to the growth of poker better than Doyle Brunson. After all, when he won his back-to-back main event titles in 1976 and 77, he outlasted 56 people combined. It's a far cry from this year's field of 6,358.
Texas Dolly likes to joke that back in the day, he liked his odds of making the final table because he started at the final table. Well, you'd have to combine all the main event entries from 1970 to 2003. That's 34 years to equal this year's. So, how do you like your odds now, Dolly?
Doyle Brunson and the main event are a big part of each other, but Doyle's not the only champion present who adorns the walls at this great poker room. There is a man who won it the year after Doyle's back-to-back run, the '78 world champ and Vegas legend Bobby Baldwin.
Bobby Baldwin is president of Bellagio, and it is in Bobby's room, named for him, that Doyle and the gang play the big game.
So while Baldwin collects some chips early on, we move elsewhere in this poker room. Not all champions are as widely recognizable.
What do they call you?
They call him the '96 world champ HUCK seed.
Turn around. See on the wall there?
Doesn't have your name up there, though.
Up on the wall.
Yeah, probably wishing he didn't ask who HUCK was now.
Huckleberry seed. Sam.
Nice meeting you, sir.
Huckleberry Seed has family members by the names of Caraway, Apple, and Cottonseed. That is the truth.
And there is a very recognizable two-time world champ, Johnny Chan, the '87-'88 back-to-back champ. Chan with pocket aces going against journeyman pro Steve Jacobs, who was on flush and straight draws going to the river, and the river card brings a flush to Jacobs. Chan checks.
Johnny came to the United States from China at age 9. He was the first foreign-born player to win the main event.
Jacobs moves all in for his last 8,200. Johnny's leery.
Can Chan get away from the aces? You see so many strange faces here, you don't know if they've made a hand or they're making a move.
And Johnny will commit the chips and see that his aces were cracked by the flush of Jacobs.
That was an ugly flop for Jacobs to play through.
I can't help that.
So many bullets to dodge in this large main event field, a field so large, in fact, that they have had to split the 6,358 players into 4 separate sessions. But an early stumble for Johnny Chan. Back to our featured table.
Lon, I love the crush of unwashed humanity at this main event.
Doyle Brunson with King 10 offsuit. And Doyle reaching for chips. He's going to raise it. You see it says raise 700. That means Doyle has raised it up to 700. Frank List now. Jack 10 offsuit. And he will make the call.
Lon, we have nearly 6,400 people playing in this main event, plus this poker video game character. I know him.
That's Andrew Cohen from Las Vegas in reality. So Brunson and List heads up to the flop, and the flop is 10. Jack. List flops a full house. Wow.
I'm not sure that's the same poker face Texas Dolly has, and Doyle always looks that way.
Doyle got a pair of 10s, and he checks it. What a story List is going to have to tell his poker buddies back home, mixing it up with a great Doyle Brunson.
You mentioned the pair of 10s for Doyle. This is a dangerous hand for him.
List about 1,000, and Doyle made the call.
I really wish he'd look to his left. He might pick up something.
5 of clubs. Doyle drawing dead now. The full house is best for List. You see the check mark indicating that. And they both check.
They both checked. List getting a bit tricky here on Texas Dolly.
It's a deuce of hearts on the river. And now Doyle's going to bet 1,500.
Doyle decides it's safe to bet thanks to List's cagey check on the turn.
And List says it's safe to raise, makes it 4,000 to play.
Maybe List read Super System, Doyle's a seminal poker instructional book.
Doyle trying to get a read on these newcomers. Will pay for the information, and List turns over his winning full house.
Wow. Doyle knows how to react to a bad read and a beat.
Oh, there's no, yeah, there's one.
It's tough to get applause, Frank, when you beat the fan favorite. The World Series of Poker is not only about great poker, it's about great color, which has become a signature of day one.
Woo! I'm back.
Some very interesting choices out there when it comes to dress style for many players, including some of the pros like young phenom Alex Jacob and his retro fro.
I'd give him a comb, but it will just get lost somewhere in there.
And also this year's poker fool, Jeffrey Madsen, who lost a bet with Joe Seabach, is not looking too happy about his punishment.
You know how they say one day you're chicken, the next day you're chicken feathers? This is worse. I would have left town under the cover of darkness.
One guy with plenty to be smiling about, Elezra, a great World Series. He won his first bracelet.
This is the book to read about poker, guys.
It's his good friend Barry Greenstein's poker guide.
Barry, I'm learning a little bit. It's okay doing the...
It's too lucky. Give it back. That's why good luck.
Okay, but I'm trying to pick up something over here. I'm losing.
Don't believe it. He's got a shot at winning a whole lot of money, even if he doesn't win the main event.
Remember talking to Doyle and Chip, and they said it's going to be easy to win a World Series bracelet. And I said, there's no way, you guys are out of your mind.
We all picked some different players.
And Elezra decided that he was going to just book everybody's bets.
I got Doyle Brunson, I bet him 50,000. I got Todd Brunson for 50,000. Chip Reese for 50,000, and Doyle bet on Chip Reese for another 50,000. Barry Greenstone for 100,000. Chip and Doyle bet 50,000 on Barry Greenstone also.
It's a hard thing to win these bracelets.
With David Benjamin for 50,000, Gus Henson, Phil Ivey, Daryl Deacon, Brendan Adams, and if nobody wins, I can win 600,000, by the way.
And that is the smile of a man who's about to win $600,000. He can get himself a real nice shave.
Norman Doyle actually paid Ellie $15,000 to get out of that bet when he realized what a grind it was going to be to give himself a chance to win.
Have you had a lot of cashes and final tables and stuff?
One final table.
Final table, yeah?
I guess 3 cashes. I didn't.
Oh, that's right. You cashed the same time the other day. What was it?
I didn't really play that many tournaments.
Yeah, why would you play that many tournaments, Doyle? It's just the World Series. There's another one next year.
He did finish 6th in the Pot Limit Omaha World Championship.
Lon, I wait all year for the main event, partly because I have no life, but mostly because it's the main event.
Paul Begum.
250.
With ace-8 of hearts. I don't think you can raise 250.
You got to make it 400 minimum.
He was trying to raise, I think. Didn't put in enough.
It's double, right?
Well, they're going to allow him just to make a call.
Doyle's wondered what kind of amateurs we got here. There is William Franchishine, born in California, lives in Bangkok, Thailand. He has ace-jack offsuit, and he will make the call.
Is he on the lam?
He limps in from the small blind. Doyle checks his option.
I just checked with the Elias Sports Bureau. That's the 14,893rd time Doyle has checked the big blind in his career.
3 to the flop. Couple of trays and an 8. Begum and Brunson hit their 8, but Begum's got top kicker. Franchishine missed the flop, and he checks. Doyle checks.
Was playing very passive today.
Begum.
700.
Pair of 8s, and top kicker is going to make it 700.
Because I'm curious what you had.
Franchishine folded, and Doyle Brunson will make the call.
Hey, Doyle, you know, curiosity killed the cat, you know.
You're right.
Turn card, 5 of spades. No help to Doyle.
Check.
You know, it's curious. If Begum raised pre-flop, which I think he was trying to do, Doyle would be out of this hand and saving money.
Begum's going to see how curious Doyle is. Makes it 600. Doyle makes the call.
Geez, Doyle's become a calling station.
So these two go to the river. Begum with the advantage, the 2 pair, and the ace kicker. And it's a king of hearts on the river. Begum with a check mark. Doyle checks. Check, check. Doyle's lost again.
The ace got me.
I'm telling you, I'm going to have to go down there and give Doyle a little remedial lesson in power poker. And that would be embarrassing for both of us.